Hi, and welcome back to Accidental Thoughts. I'm Jason,
And I'm here to
and
apologize.
he's already cracking up over there.
I have to apologize for last week. I made a comment and I shouldn't have, and it was wrong of me. So if you can find it in your heart, Elon, just
To forgive
don't
us.
take away my power.
Don't take away, don't turn off the power again. He dozed you last week.
He dosed me wrong.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Just since we haven't uploaded those files yet, let me explain to y'all out there. We were in the middle of recording, and I mean pretty much right at exactly the middle of the episode, and Jimmy's power went out. And we had mentioned at the beginning that we didn't own Teslas. Jimmy mentioned he didn't own a Tesla.
I mentioned, yeah. I kind of opened a wormhole there.
Yeah, you did.
It's like,
So
it was like, okay.
once we have those files uploaded and we figure out how to get those files back from that, we'll get that half episode out to y'all so y'all can see what happened. Hopefully it doesn't jinx the rest of the show, but hey.
Yeah. It was kind of it was kind of weird because it was like right in the middle, and all of a sudden just everything went gone. And I'm like sitting here in the dark, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what the hell just happened? What did I do? And it dawned on me.
You think it
Those are
you think it
coming.
was weird on your end. I'm sitting here like, Jimmy, are you there? On the recording, even because my end uploaded, obviously, because
Yeah.
I didn't lose power.
Yeah.
It
I
was
was just,
kind of odd because it was like it was just weird because I'm like, Jimmy, okay, I think Jimmy's lost power. Give us just a moment. We'll be right back.
yeah. What kind of commercial do you run for that? Today,
Okay, I guess
we
he's
talk
not
about
coming
the
back.
savings that you can get with Entergy. Great. I might
Right.
need some. Are you looking for a good generator? The storm season's coming upon us. They have got generators everywhere. It's like, hmm, I need a generator. I have a generator. Just wasn't ready.
Yeah, you just
Well, I have
didn't
to be
finish
honest.
setting it up yet.
Well, I can tell you, man, I was sitting there going, okay, it's not raining or storming. I was like, what in the hell's
Yeah, and
going
that's what made it
on?
so weird.
Yeah.
That's why we said Elon dozed you, man.
Oh, man. I was worried.
He
What
had
made
to
it
have dozed
worse, it would have been so bad if I'd been sitting here in the dark and all of a sudden you hear like this, who's at the door? I ain't
you.
answer. I'd send one of the kids, go answer the door. Of course, be my luck, I hear one of them getting
Right.
tased there. But no, thank God it wasn't me. It's for you, Dad.
Just remember, Jim. Remember, Jimmy, Doge doesn't knock. They're kind of like the IRS, doesn't make
Yeah,
phone calls.
kind of like SWAT
Yeah.
come flying in. Did you say something inappropriate? No,
Yep.
it wasn't me. My son's got a tablet in there, man. He does it all the time. He was back
Right.
talking,
Did you say something
but
about Tesla? We did actually, but it wasn't bad. Not totally. Just said we didn't have one.
for a
You know what's
brief
funny though?
moment,
It's funny.
I was
It's
just for
funny we should mention Tesla though
yeah,
because yeah, for about that much of a moment.
yeah.
But the funny
I'm
thing
sorry.
is, Teslas are by the same people who said we had to drive Teslas are the
Yeah,
ones now selling their Teslas or destroying other people's Teslas.
right.
And there's two good things that are going to come of this. First of all, people like you and me who are smart, we're going to invest in that stock while it's low. And, you know, when it bounces back, and it will bounce back, it's Tesla. It's not going anywhere. When it bounces back, we're going to make quite a bit of money. Some of us more than others because some have more to play with than others. But
I wonder if
there's
energy has
that,
stock.
and then there's the fact that there are people that wouldn't mind having an electric vehicle in all of this, and because there is a
Why?
quote unquote flood of them back to the
The
dealer,
glorified golf
now they're
cart.
going to be cheap enough that your average middle class family who only needs a little commuter car, that won't overdrive the
All right.
miles on those things, charge, they're going to be able to afford it. there's a twofold positive here. Unlike,
I'm not seeing
when
it though.
when the right, and I don't claim to be associated with either side per se, but it's funny because you got the guys out there that are now, oh no, let's just say I like my God, my guns, and my freedom, period. And I vote for the people who help preserve that. So
Freedom, married, freedom.
married, freedom, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. I'll toast you to that one. But anyway, it's
That was
just
something whispering.
gonna make the
Just
car
making sure.
all that much more affordable. And what's funny is the people that were saying you had to get them that are now taking those cars back
Right.
are buying gas cars. So it's actually threefold we're going to benefit because now with the drill stuff, we're going to benefit with lower gas prices. And there's going to be more of a demand for it too. Again,
You know, I started thinking about it a little bit. You start thinking about it because you
oh,
know Elon. It's part of that program we have here. I think it's called Accidental. Oh, here's the deal. Okay, so here's the thing. Elon Musk has these. Hold on, let me go check see if my door's locked. Hold up. But
right.
just in case what I say might be, got snipers outside my window. But anyway, here's the thing. I mean, he makes these electric cars. Okay, he makes these electric cars, and yet you saw the rocket or whatever it was that just recently went to space and came back and landed, and that didn't look electric. All the fuel
No,
that
that
we
wasn't
saved
electric,
buying
but
his electric car was used to move that.
yep.
And
But here's the
it
thing.
just seems
Here's
like,
the thing. He's done all this stuff, and I've seen interviews of him. Like he was talking about in Australia. He was being interviewed, and they were saying this is before the election, all that. He was saying they were saying something about people in Australia. The power is getting so expensive over there that people are having to decide between having power in their home in some cases
uh-huh,
or having food on the table. And
right.
in some areas, that's a very real possibility. Power here is expensive, as we both know. It's
I think you
almost
made a
cheaper at
comment.
this point.
You made a
I-
comment about the LED lights. How about all these LED
Yeah.
lights and my bill's
Right.
still high? It's like,
Yep. Yeah, dude.
okay,
I mean, we're going from 100 watt per hour usage to 16 on each bulb, and you multiply that by the 30 or so bulbs I have in
right.
this
But
house
what else
or
are you
more.
turning on in the
That's
house?
yeah. Well, right now the only thing that's on is the lamps, not even the
Well, I'm just
overheads.
saying,
I've
there's
got
probably,
single
yeah, there's probably other stuff on. I
but
mean, yeah, I mean,
oh, there's always stuff on. There's always something on a
exactly.
charger. you know, there's
Right,
always there's always
right,
some uh, uh, tablet, phone, you name it, always on a
exactly.
charger. The chargers are
Right,
always plugged in.
right.
So
But
computers
are
are
you
always
running
running.
more than
But
usual? I mean, to sit there and say to yourself, I bought all these light bulbs to save me buku dollars. I don't see
not
that.
just the light bulbs, though. If you remember in the conversation earlier, I also talked about I had brand new high efficiency AC units put in here.
Right,
Truthfully, and I've done the insulation, and I've done the front and back door over.
right,
I have double pane windows, all that good stuff.
right.
All in all, I shouldn't be clearing 2,000 kilowatt a month on this house with how
Yeah,
efficient the house is set. And yet
maybe
I
it's
still am. Yep.
yeah, maybe it's the barbecue pit you got. It's probably connected to Wi-Fi. It's probably sucking some of the energy out of your home.
Well, no, it sucks a little bit when it's running, but believe it or not, that'll run on the 2,400 watt generator on the truck.
I still get
So
a kick out
the
of it.
only the only hard the only high part on that pellet grill is the part of starting up when it has to heat that rod. Once it gets the fires going, it just uses basically a fart fan motor
Still
almost.
got to find it
I'm not
ironic,
even
man,
joking.
that you can get a message or a text from your barbecue pit. Ding.
Oh,
Hey,
I don't have that. I get a text from my not my I don't
hey,
have that barbecue pit, but yes, that is kind of
neat,
silly getting that you can
neat.
start your
Yeah.
barbecue pit phone on the way home so it's running, when you get home. No, I can
Ding.
my probes do that. My pit that does not do that. I went with the man who
Probes.
bought mine. So yeah,
I'm
probes.
sorry.
I like to probe. What?
A kinky pit.
What can I say? Busted.
Text you from the
Guilty.
it texts you while you're at work. When you coming home? I
I
told you not
miss
to
you.
text me while I'm at work. Frozen tube is cold.
Hey, if I ever get one that texts me at work says I missed you, you hadn't fired me up in a day or two, I'm gonna be like looking at the phone, just
Just saying.
I love you.
Yeah, that's all you need is a pit to text you.
What'll,
Ding.
what'll be
When's the
scary?
last time you put some meat in me and heat it up? Okay, this is going too far.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
I'm just saying, man. Who,
What would it
who
be
wants a
even when
barbecue
they
pit that
add?
does that crap?
Well, they're adding AI to everything else. Why not? Hey, you haven't cooked rib or you hadn't cooked steak. You need to come home and put some skin.
What's funny
Okay.
is eventually some jackwang is going to come up with the same kind of, how your barbecue pit looks. Okay, you everything, you got your pellet
Yeah.
thing on the side, and you got your deal here, and you have the lid and all that. Somebody was going to come
Right.
along and make it where the door is not on the side but at the end of it. It's going to look like you're opening it up from the ass end of a donkey or something. Here, look what we got in here.
Funny. Do you know the history of the pellet grill at all? It's
No.
kind of interesting. Mm, the homes in the
How
Northeast and then
interesting is it?
North. Well, it's interesting enough. I'm going to share it right here on Accidental Thoughts.
I'll be the judge of that.
uh, well, there's homes up north that use wood pellets to heat their homes, and it's a grander scale technology that somebody had the genius idea of taking and miniaturizing for a grill, and that's how it ended up being the way it is.
How long has it
So
been around? Pellet grill.
the pellet grill itself, I think Traeger, I'm gonna have to look up the exact date, but Traeger came up with it,
Somebody's
or
screen
I
just
should say
lit
Z
up.
Grill. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I could tell.
Uh,
You look a little paler than normal. You gotta get some sun. Get out more often.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Shake the camera. Everybody who's got
Mid
motion sickness is probably
1980.
hurling. Really?
You ready for this?
No.
Mid 1980s, first Traeger came out. 1970s, wood pellets were invented in the U.S. Early
Right.
1980s, Joe Traeger, which later split off into Z Grills, but they weren't granted a patent until 1987, and he sold his first unit of them in 1988. They really didn't catch on till about, I want to say about 10 years ago, when you had the elitist that had theirs,
Right.
so they didn't have to mess with it, and they were super expensive. If you remember, Traeger's been one of
You
the
act
most
like they're
expensive ones
super
out there
cheap
till then.
now.
They're comparable with a modern stick burner that's of the same quality. Like for instance, when I bought my first one, the one that I just gave to neighbor when I went for this buy one get one 10, where I got mine. Um, they that when I got that first one, that particular company, Z Grills, had been just out of crowdfunding because they were trying to get their market share now that the technology was public domain.
Right.
And it makes sense why it is now, because it wasn't patented until 1988. I think it was 2018 the patent ran out. So that's when they really took off, because you had different price points in the market for the same technology.
Right.
So, and I got to tell
You
you,
just have to be
when
an
mine went
avid
out, I looked at
to do this.
somebody who really likes grilling and smoking.
I guess. Now I have to admit, I don't mind grilling, but I'd much rather
My family's not as in.
I'm not. So, I mean, I just recently, just like I told you, I just recently bought me an outdoor griddle, and already I think I've had it 3 weeks, and I've already used it twice, and it's like, you know. Matter of fact, I just went out there a while ago and cleaned it and seasoned the top and all that stuff, and I was like, man, this is just an outdoor cast iron skillet. Man, you're talking to somebody that
But
did baked potatoes on a burn barrel. You know, I'm like, I don't care, man.
I did that back in the day too, man. Then I
Yeah.
got married and had a little, $400, side stack smoker. And then when that wore
I
out, it was
just
about
never got
600
into
bucks
it.
for a pellet grill and 600 bucks for a comparable stick burner. And I was like, well, let's try the
I think we're
pellet
getting
grill.
off this. We're getting
I'll never.
off here. We're getting off the subject. Why?
Uh-oh.
Why?
Why what?
Why does a barbecue pit or pellet grill have to have Wi-Fi? I mean, has it gotten to that point where, you know, ding, hey, the temperature has dropped to
Well, I can tell
320
you,
degrees while you're
I can
inside
tell you
taking a
some of
dump? I mean, come on,
some
seriously?
some of them have
Oh no,
built-in
whatever.
probe and whatnot. All the pellet grills have a temperature probe in the pit that monitors the temperature, and they've all been modeled to actually have the normal up and down temperature of burning wood because they don't hold a steady temperature like that. They'll go up a couple degrees, down a couple. I think the acceptable range for that is about 5 to 10 degrees.
So you're saying
Um,
that the reason that
but
these things have Wi-Fi or
it's so you can
all
monitor
this
your meat
crap
probe
is so that you can go do something else while it cooks.
pretty much.
That's what it means.
Pretty much. Like, well, I'm going
That's
to
what
show
it
you
means,
this. This is
man.
a smaller model. I'm going to pull one up on the screen here. Okay.
Be careful.
This
Be
is
careful.
a
What
small
the
one.
hell?
Okay. And what I'm going to show you is this part
Careful.
here. This part right
Is that
here.
the one you
This
have?
is one of the Wi-Fi. No, I do not. This is much smaller than the one I have. This is only 450 square inches. Um, this one though has the Wi-Fi unit in it, and it has a way to empty out pellets, so you can change which wood you're using, all that, without having to vacuum them out.
Okay. How much
But
is that little
that
whiz banger?
Wi-Fi has built-in meat probes. This one's about 300 bucks, give or take. I can go back here and this one's there's a blind box which could be anything from that one to the big one. That's $399 for that one. Now the one I have, one of these models, but without the Wi-Fi. So we got
For
one of
the
these
avid
without the
outdoor
Wi-Fi.
cooker who'd rather be doing something else, get yourself a Wi-Fi cooker.
I'm not sure what model I have, but I know it's a
You really
700,
can't sell
a
that.
700.
You can't sit there and say, you know,
Oh,
for the outdoorsman who wants to be outdoors, cooking and
well,
doing
no,
all
you can
this.
still hang out and get drunk all
Here's
you
one my
want.
wife
You just
might
don't
say.
have
You
to
can go back
babysit this
inside
thing
and
and
get
keep
away from
clean.
the mosquitoes, and you just let this thing do everything for you. Yeah.
Basically, this model
It's just a barbecue.
without the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Anyway, the whole thing with that is though is that those
And we're back.
are yeah. The whole thing with those is that they're just they're 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 ones you don't have to babysit. You can go get drunk, do whatever you're going to do anyway, because that's what 90% of people who sit by the barbecue pit do all day is just suck back beers. And as you know, I don't. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still do that.
Nope.
You just don't have to
I
do
sit there
it
and drink
while you're
6
getting
beers.
drunk. You don't
Wow.
have to remember to feed more wood into the grill. So,
That's why I have a propane
but yeah, the
tank.
Wi-Fi
I like mine.
thing I don't get. Well, that's what's great about this thing is you get the real wood flavor with the same kind of startup a propane grill give you.
Are
It
you
takes about
about to
10
say
minutes to
something bad
start up.
about propane?
Hell no. That'd just be
I'm just waiting
unconstitutional.
to like somebody's
Oh,
about.
Bobby.
Them are some fighting words around here in Texas. What are you talking
Hey, them's fighting words if we know Hank Hill.
about? we don't say things about propane like that.
No.
I
No.
got propane
Propane and
underwear. I don't have it.
propane.
But anyway, I don't know. I can't buy in to the fact of pellet grill. I mean, they look, I guess you could say convenient, helpful. But like I said, when somebody told
They
me,
are.
that, it'll text me and let me know. Bing. I am preheating for you. The day that you realize that your pit is more efficient than
Honestly,
your
don't know
spouse is
exactly.
going to be kind of a messed up deal, man. I mean, who wants that kind of argument, man? I don't need that.
Right.
I can just
Well,
see
see,
myself
I
walking the
don't
door,
even really
getting
know
that
how the
fight.
Wi-Fi ones work. I've never owned one with Wi-Fi. Mine has a simple knob. You set the temperature and run.
Mm.
And then I use a separate meat probe setup from I'm gonna lie to you now, from Inkbird. I have
We
two
get
different
used to it.
Inkbird sets. Yeah. I have two different Inkbird sets of meat probes that I use when I'm cooking. I have one that has thin probes, and then I have the big thick ones for the steaks. So
I bet you do. And scene.
now, I'm not
Okay.
the one who
See,
said something about Tesla and the power.
hey, that's on your side. I'd pay a buffalo nickel to see your power go out right now. Yeah. Have you some, buddy?
Is my
Yeah, you go out there and you'll see a cut cable and stuff. You'll see it gone. Don't mess with those. They'll take your
right?
stuff. They're probably
Right.
out there cooking on your grill right now.
Elon Musk wants to cook on my grill. He's more than welcome to come and use it,
Well,
as far as I'm concerned. But I darn sure will be picking the man's brain about money.
I'm not going to say anything about him.
So
Nothing.
no, you learned
Nothing
your
bad.
lesson.
Nothing bad. I ain't going to say. There are some
No, we
great.
didn't really say nothing bad about him last week.
I just.
We
I
didn't
didn't
say
say
anything
nothing at all.
bad last week.
You did.
No,
You said
you
it.
said
I was a
you
victim.
didn't own a Tesla.
And we only
Well,
did that
your power went out, not
because of somebody. Somebody wants to talk about it, and I'm like, fine, we'll just do a quick shout out. And no more than I do that, I'm like,
but you know what? Let's blame him again. Rodrigo, it's your fault.
yeah, enjoy that trip to Tampa, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, we love you, brother, but yeah, no, he did mention Tesla because you told us to talk about Tesla. You told us both several times to talk about
yeah.
Tesla.
Wait a minute. So you're
Only thing
saying
I
this is
got to
my
say
fault?
about Tesla is they're the most innovative electric car on the market, and I'll still never own one.
I don't know. I just don't see. I don't know. I just don't. There are certain
I
things in
don't
this
see it
world that are
being.
convenient. I can understand that. I mean,
Yep.
you know, I can see, like, when the first barbecue pit was made, it was made to where you could cook something outside. And I understand that wouldn't, heat the house or whatever.
Yep.
Perfectly logical.
Yep.
An electric car, all it is a glorified golf cart. It is basically enclosed and giving you the opportunity, to travel farther. And you can. The only thing
Without
is
having to
that
stop and get
right. But you do have to stop and get charged. So what's the difference? How far can
charged.
you
Yep.
go on a tank or put this way? How far can you go on one charge in a Tesla car? Can you go
Depends on. It does
okay,
depend on the model.
okay,
I
pick one.
know that
Pick one. Yeah.
on a normal average Tesla, I should be
Yeah.
able to do the trip all the way up to College Station over to Brenham and back without having to charge.
Okay.
So
Now,
my
can you do a
longest
tank of
day
gas?
driving, I can do it within less than half a tank with the truck I'm driving
Exactly.
right now.
Okay. So what's it
Quarter
cost
tank.
to charge it?
Yeah.
What
That's the real question. And honestly, if you're that curious about that, I know somebody who does all,
I'm sorry to hear that.
and we
My
could honestly get
condolences.
him. Well, no, he's a good guy. He's actually the husband of a lady that manages one of the venues I work with, who's a dear friend. So
Wow.
they're they're both friends. Yeah.
So how long does the battery last
So
for normally?
he
Is it just like
said
a car
he was
battery,
driving
3
around
years?
4 or 5 days. Don't know. I think even the battery in my hybrid has a 100,000 mile warranty. So the battery technology has definitely gotten better because of Tesla, but
I
there's
just don't
still the
see it
obvious
being
problem.
I just don't see it being,
Right
as
now, it's
useful.
not good enough to be made as it is. It will eventually get better. There's new
Yeah.
battery technologies they're currently in the process of inventing at Tesla of all places. Again, if they ever get these things proven, we could go 1,000 miles on the charge.
Right.
At which point, then the question becomes: is electricity going to get cheaper? Because right now, it's cheaper for
Or
me to gas up my truck
6 rounds of golf.
than it is. Exactly. But all in all, we are at the stage that these things are a viable piece of the market, but they're not meant for guys like you and
Oh,
me
they're
who
a
put
piece of
600,
sunlight.
700 miles.
Yep, they are something.
So, unless you make
You see them everywhere.
a ton of money.
Tesla.
You do. Yep.
It's kind of like the
Yep. And that's in
Cybertruck.
large part, honestly. Yes, we
I
love the
can't
Cybertruck.
handle that.
No,
I can't
not
handle that thing.
really. I can live without it. Revise that thing to look like an actual truck, Elon. We could talk.
It's like a
But
DeLorean on
what I've seen,
steroids.
hell, I'd take a DeLorean.
I
They
would
may not
rather
have
have the
been the best
DeLorean
engine,
than
and
I
then
would the truck. Yeah.
I don't know. I hear the originals are hard to get parts to fix them.
Mm.
Now, fun fact about those: you're the one who told me that they were at one point, and we don't know if they still are or not.
They're still in
Making
business.
DeLoreans.
Yeah, they make them here
Yeah,
in Houston.
somebody
Yeah.
bought. Yeah,
Yeah. They're right
so
there off of the Beltway. I was driving by there one day and it was like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 of them out there. It's pretty cool.
yep. Yeah, in fact, they still got their page on the internet.
Yep.
DeLorean Motor
DeLorean.
Company.
Where's he at?
Oh, you should see the one that.
Where's he
No,
at now?
I don't. I don't
Did
know
he
where Mr. DeLorean is. I don't know
is
if he
he
died
did he
years
die?
ago or
Is
what.
he in jail or is he in Cuba or where the hell
Well,
is
let's
he?
find out.
This is how accidental thoughts works, ladies and gentlemen. We just go from lily
In
pad to
real
lily
time.
pad.
And yep. Oh, he died at Overlook Hospital in Summit, New Jersey from a stroke, March 19th, 2005 at the age of 80.
Okay. Okay.
So he lived a long and fruitful life, John
He was
DeLorean.
in jail. Didn't he go to jail?
I don't know. I didn't look
I
all
think
that
he
up.
went to
I
jail,
looked up
dude.
what? Where is he?
Yeah, I think he went to jail. I think he
Wow,
went to
did you
jail.
know he was also instrumental? Did you know he was also instrumental in creating the Pontiac GTO, the GOAT?
Huh. No, I didn't know that.
Yep. He was an auto engineer who gained fame in General Motors, where he was instrumental in creating the Pontiac GTO, considered the first muscle car.
Right. I know that he worked somewhere else and he finally wanted to go out on his own. But I
Yep.
mean, is the Cybertruck made of stainless steel like the DeLorean? Oh,
Yes,
it
the
is.
Cybertruck is made of stainless steel. It's also made of composites and plastics and stuff like that, but the exterior shell is supposedly all stainless.
I saw a purple one the other day and I was like, yep,
Those are people that take them and paint them.
yeah,
Those are people that take them and paint them,
yep.
obviously.
Somebody decided to paint that
You need to
skillet.
look up when we get done with it, and DeLorean is making brand new styles of cars now. Now, the
I
original
know.
company went bankrupt.
I've looked at it. I've looked. Yeah, I know, man. It's totally different than what it was when he did it.
They got
I
it
know. They're
almost looks
pretty cool.
supercar.
I know. They're pretty
Yeah,
cool. That's why I said when you said you didn't know if they were still, I know that when I looked at it, like, I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, holy crap.
yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
you
there's
told me
some,
where you saw them being built. Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, there was some that were just totally, I mean, they were pretty awesome. I was like,
yeah.
that's pretty aggressive. I like that. I don't, I'm not going to buy a Tesla.
Not anytime soon. Not for $100,000.
Not for
Yeah,
100,000
I can get the
years. I
best
ain't
truck.
buying a Tesla. I ain't buying one. I
If
don't
they
want
came
one.
out with a big old diesel in them, you
It
wouldn't
don't
buy
matter.
them.
No. Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
come on. You know you like Cybertruck.
Nope. Nope. I would.
Okay. Well, in all honesty, that's
Anyway,
all the time we have tonight.
And we made
Yeah.
it.
Wrapping it
We
up,
made
we
it
talked about
to
Tesla.
the
We made it
finish
without the power going out.
line. Yeah. Be my luck, though. By the time I hang up, I'll make it about to probably 10 feet away, and somebody will barge in and tase my ass. You call me tomorrow, and I'll be like, I do not have a good night. Don't ask me about my buffaloes, okay?
They're gonna tase you. They're gonna tase you with a Tesla taser.
Yeah. And
I
all I can do
imagine
is
such a
sit.
thing
All I can sit
exists.
there is go, irony, irony. Yeah, that's
Right.
exactly what I would do.
Right.
Anyway, if
Exactly.
everybody likes what
Anyway,
they're
that's all the
watching
time.
and listening to, go on YouTube and check us out, man. We got several of these on there. Not last week though.
Yep. Not last week though. Somebody made a comment about Tesla, and we will get that one uploaded as soon as we get those tracks
Yeah, let's not
from
go down that
somebody
road.
whose power went out.
But I've paid the bill and I have paid the price. And thank you, Elon, for setting me straight.
Right. Does your job, Jimmy. Does your
I,
job.
I, I don't think though, man, I ain't gonna mess with it again. Anyway,
Right. Right.
well, that was a good episode.
Anyway,
So,
y'all have an awesome night. Like, subscribe, share, and comment.
all right.
We'll see you. I'm
Have a
Jason.
blessed evening.
This is Jimmy. And this has been Accidental Thoughts.
As always.